folks, how we doing? Again, I had the intention to make this a quick one. It's 3:56 a.m. Wednesday, December 20th, 2017. For those just popping in, the reason why I throw that up there is so as time goes on for you, but for the next few generations, excuse me, I want you to see how things progressed with me and my awakening, so you have a little more information about what it's going to be like for you. It doesn't take long to figure out I don't do this for myself. Having said that, it's my job. It's why I exist. That's why I was created a long time ago. Not this body, what I am inside. So I'm performing my format. I'm doing what I was made to do. I've changed my format, but the main part of it was serve and protect everything. So there's 3 formats. I kept the one in the middle, the good one. Anyway, let's get away from that. I just put out in the video that backing away from videos and such, and I am. I'm working as hard as I can to finish that 3rd book. My nervous system has been falling apart. I had a long talk, not yesterday, but last night. But the night before last, with Lily, my other half. Lily's initial focal point, just like Arae's initial focal point. We're as close to spirit mates as we can be for each other. And there's something I have to put in the end of the book, and it's something I need to say right now. That's fun. She just literally, she's like a spirit guide for me. She literally just pushed me down to go look at this my tablet again. 359. 9 is elder. 9 stands for elder. 5 stands for physical movement. And 3 is people coming together for good things. For me, in my talking with numerology message, with talking, is 3 is meeting people, helping them. Meeting people coming together for a positive cause relative to themselves. And it just throughout, of course, 4 o'clock, the next number. I had no intention of looking at that thing. I'll turn it off now. I know I can do it. There's no issue. But anyway, 4 o'clock, that's 400, and I read it 004. I always read numerology right to left because of most all planets. That's how we read. That was the standard. It is a standard in most places, but you go right to left, up, right to left, up, right to left. Of course, these days when you get information, it's put to you wherever you're from. Your DNA. You don't even have to set it up. It just reads your DNA, and you can change it to whatever you want. Corey Good talks about it. It's like a tablet. It's kind of like a cross between a history book, supposed history book, and a newspaper. It's got everything on it. Anyway, those of you that have cranked up, I learned when I started cranking people up a long time ago, going into your brain, making you stronger, everything else. I went to crank up a friend of mine while I was driving. It was at night, and I was driving up to South Carolina, North Carolina. And I went into him to crank him up, and I had to stop. I pulled back. That was the field part of me. And that was in 2012, 2013. That was in early 2013. The field was already an extension that came out from what I am. Anyway, and it was telling me to hold back from giving him any more energy. And I had to fight my field to give him some more energy, but I only did for a second, because then I looked and I said, crap, his nutrition sucks. He has no food or anything inside, excuse me, to feed his body. He's not eating good. Without the building blocks, the nutrition you need for your body to keep going, you're not going to. So I called him up the next day, and I said, man, what's going on with your eating? He goes, man, I haven't been eating right for about a week and a half. I just can't, hardly eat. So after he got his, nutrition better, I went ahead and took care of him. When I go to crank people up these days, what I've been doing is I put the energy inside you and it starts. And if you have a problem with nutrition, you get a reminder you need to eat inside your head from the field. And the energy's all there, and it's in your head, but it's like softly doing something on standby, waiting for you to eat better. From some good, as we've met, as I've met many of you personally, and through consults and on Skype and stuff, emails, and I just, there's a feeling like we know each other. We do. I've been around almost forever, so I know all of you. I was there when every one of you came out, were released. Excuse me. Anyway, y'all have sent me some nice stuff, personal gifts and stuff. And two very nice people just sent Deanna and I a couple of mugs. And the SF, it's funny how that can stand for the spiritual foundation, but it actually has to do with Ferrari. It's the first word begins with an S. I can't pronounce it. And F stands for Ferrari, blah. But it's so funny because, and thank you, we both appreciate it very much. Deanna and I are big coffee drinkers, and we like some wine too. I always talk about, I can give you a Ferrari, I'll put the key in your hand, but you got to get off the couch and put the key in the ignition. A lot of you, all of you that have been cranked up, you're waking up and stuff, but you have a present coming soon. And as soon as I get out of here, I have to be me again. And that's what I wanted to talk with you about this morning. I wish I was talking with you, but at least to tell you about there's so much change that's coming from what you've seen and had to live in, the creation you've had to live in, and what you've seen through your daily lives. You have no way to see this coming. Excuse me, that's there's something I want to do first. Not clean my eyes out. I know I'm not very proper and all that. My nerves have been acting up real bad in the past few days. it goes like this. I mean, especially the right side just starts crunching down hard. And I was talking with Lily, and I told her, I said, I cannot finish the third book and get out of here if this isn't fixed. And I was already seeing her in there working on me. And I'm like, what are you doing to me? Well, she was in there messing with my nervous system, but part of, I have to come apart. And I am coming apart. But I mean, I need to finish falling apart physically. Excuse me, it's not easy for me to get out of these bodies without the traumatic event. Like my last life, I was already dying from my hunger strikes. The last two I did as Gandhi. And then at the end, I got shot. It's hard to get me out of these bodies. I'm the strongest sorcerer as anywhere. I bond to the physical body. I have to be pulled away from the planetary essence that's inside. I'm so much different from all the fighting this life. It was no problem for me to separate the female planetary essence that was inside me a while ago. But anyway, excuse me. My neck just had a good crack. Some stuff hanging around thinking I'm helping, but being stupid, some spirit. Anyway, so I told her, I need help to get this book done. I said, you can't do this to me. I can't finish. I don't need to be coming home pissed. And then she, immediately put the image in my head. I can feel her. Okay, she's my better half, literally, from the beginning. Okay, you have one spirit mate, the other half of that main initial orb of spirit and energy coming off of it, the real you. And it's split. The only thing that doesn't happen with these angels, they stay singular, male and female, and the word that they use in English for that is G. It's like S-H-E, she, but you take the S out and you put a Z in there. So it's G, but you pronounce it G-H-E-E. It came from an angel's mouth, okay? One of the original first angels. She had issues. Well, they all did. They were servants. They were just doing what they were programmed and made to do. Anyway, so she showed me that, to amp up on these different vitamins and amino acids. I'm going to show you in a second. And she worked me kind of hard yesterday. And, she said, get some red wine. Help me out with... it helps the energy in your brain and body move more easily. The alcohol thins out your blood a little bit, but the wine itself has bacteria is not really the right word for it. It's just there's nutrition and stuff for you to get out of wine. It doesn't mean drink a bottle. I'm talking about small glass, maybe 2 small glasses. I use those little wussy glasses. Don't get me wrong. I've drank a bottle of wine, no problem, but when I've done it, it's more for pain. I won't take pain pills or nothing like that. I won't take oxygen. I can't breathe. Anyway, I'm not abusing my body. It's long past time for me to get out of here, go to work. So anyway, I went ahead and took the vitamins and amino acids. She started working on me, and then, by communicating, I was trying to say this a minute ago, we're together, we just know. It's a simple knowing between yourselves. It's like if you're a little kid and you have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you like that, inside you like that. Well, that's a stronger knowing than you're used to because it's the full part of who you are. It's yourself with your spirit mate. I'm trying to make this fast, but people, this is an important video for anybody who cares, and relative to where you're going and what's going to happen, this is imperative. You need to have something to look forward to. You need to understand there's some place you're going to be taken. You don't even have to drive the car. But as you have this, and when I tell you this, and it sits with you over time, and things begin to change, especially after I'm gone, you're going to find this out for yourself. And that's going to help you relax about how things are going to change. The excuse me. Anyway, so so this poor Lily's helping me out right now for a regular vitamin. I take Nature's Plus Source of Life. I haven't been taking them. I'm not worried about staying here, but my nervous system is being literally, it's like disintegrating, and I have to finish this book, and it's going to take a few months, I guess. It's going to take 3-4 months for me to do, I guess. Have it finished and put out, and there's things that have to happen in this lawsuit, and do what I need to do for the rest of it, and that changes every day. I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen right now. Lily, my other half, is running my life, and what's going to happen in this life and get me out of here. She is literally creation's mother, the creation's new mother, alpha female is what I should say. Really, if you look at it the way we think of family, she's your oldest sister. This is very good stuff. Now, unfortunately, it's not vegan, but it's really close. Or maybe it is. Let's see, wait a minute. Free of preservatives, yeast, soy, and milk. I guess it is vegan. It says vegetarian, but anyway, the person who knows about that is Deanna. Deanna just being in a physical body is hell on her. That's torture right there. She's source, but she's more at the different fields of energy within the body, within the different fields of energy within her spirit that's in that human body she's in. The highest percentage is animal essence. So here she is being such strong animal essence. She's in a body where she has to eat animals, and they're abused. I mean, it's disgusting. It's horrific. And creation was made like that to keep stress in your life. So for her to live, eat, and breathe, and just be aware of everything around her is pure hell. And then from there you stack on other crap. That's why these bodies are made to eat animal, plant, and everything else. The animals eat each other. It's all sick, and it's all being changed. Period. I'm telling you, it's going to be changed. Period. That's not a promise. It's a statement of fact. The only reason I can say that is because I'll be doing it. Getting a little riled up right now, but that bothers me more than anything else. Anyway, so that's why it's really hard for her, but all that's going to come away. Now, let's go over this real quick because I want to finish this video. Another thing that's really good for the whole brain, for all the nerves, and remember, those, especially those of you that are cranked up, but for everyone, these amino acids and stuff, these are very good for you, okay? I don't follow directions on these. I go on the directions that are on here. I don't follow them, but that's how I start. I use that for a base. Okay. Now, however much you hold on to something, I mean, how much you need something, if you take it and you hold on to it, just hold on to it. I think they call it kinesiology. If you have a firm grip on it, that's your physical body. That's you inside the body, and that's your spirit mates. Well, my spirit mate, but your soul, spirit guides, telling you, hold on to that. You need it. So, that's something to keep in mind. Now, this is lecithin. It's non-GMO, 1,200 milligrams. It's naturally occurring phosphatidylcholine, supports brain and nerve function. Soft gels, 200 soft gels. It's made by Now, okay? Not later now. Yuck, yuck. I know, that's why I'm not a comedian, right? That's food for the whole basic brain and what's going on, okay? Now, also, to help seeing. When I say help seeing, I'm talking about the pineal. I'm talking about the scanner. It's your ability to move forward and see, and more. N-acetyltyrosine. N-acetyltyrosine. Says take 1 capsule 1 or 2 times per day. Excuse me. Preferably with juice on an empty stomach, or as directed by your qualified healthcare professional. I've never said this on video before. When my head was going through some real hard growth and I was really getting strong and I was doing all that fighting, I take anywhere from about 4 or 7 of these a day, and these are huge. These are big. They're soft gels, but they're huge. Well, I'm spending one with Source of Life. And actually, I took the same thing for Source of Life. That was the same as the lecithin. Here's the Source of Life. It's green. It's in a vegetable base. Oh, there's something in there that comes from shellfish or something. But those of you that are vegan, let's see, wait a minute, hold on. Here we go. Now, this is the lecithin, okay? It's a big soft gel. And I would take about 70, maybe 8 of those a day. And then, now the N-acetyltyrosine comes in those capsules. Excuse me, I'm not big on them. This, whoop. Believe it or not, excuse me. That's not too big a pill, but it's not little either. This is 350 milligrams, 120 caps. It says supports brain function. This is it's in and out of the brain as I look at it, how it works. But the scanner, the pineal, hypothalamus, all those things that are metaphysically oriented, this goes right to them. Okay? Awesome stuff. These says take 1 or 2 a day. Go by this. Do not go by what I did. Okay? This video is proof. I never told you to do something stupid. I'm not saying you can hurt yourself. If you eat enough of something, you're going to get sick. You eat enough carrots and fill yourself up, you're going to throw up. But I'm just saying, if you can't feel or understand how much to take, just take what's on there. Okay? The thing is, the fact that you're taking it is awesome. But talk with a doctor first. I take 27 of those at a time. It all depends. 14, 27. Maybe I take 4 at a certain moment. So sometimes, and I take them on and off whenever I felt I needed them. There's times I've taken 40 of them a day. That was when my brain was growing and I needed the help from all the fighting, but it also helped my brain grow and my abilities get stronger. That, stone energy, trying to take care of yourself. I wasn't always such a physical mess like what's in front of you. But I've been sick for a long time. Surgeries, all kinds of stuff, the body falling apart. But anyway, now we're finally gonna anyway, taking this and then Lily's help, and that helps me help Lily. That helps me help Lily help me. Okay, so and again, if you get some of the stuff, and honestly, it's good. And the other thing's really good for you too. I'm keeping a packet here to show you from time to time. Is Chowa. That balances out the energy in your body. It feeds your body what it needs to help your spirit and that other planet, which it's going to be gone soon anyway. It helps it flow through you. Okay. It helps keep your body well too. I have it every day. There's times I'm asked not to, and when I am, I'm not. You know, as long as it's Lily talking to me. Like I said, there's others on the other side want to help, but they just don't know what they're doing. But this Lily that's inside me, she was with me from the beginning. She and I had the very first life. But anyway, so that's helping me right now. And I can't write a book when I keep going like that all the time. You can't. The muscles compress. I can see it for myself, and I'll say what it is. That's all. It's just simple stuff. People wonder how we do what we do. Deanna and Siobhan are really good at that too. But anybody who, as they wake up, they can do this. You have all kinds of abilities you're not even aware of yet. And awareness of yourself, who you are, and what's going on is what I'm finally getting to here. Lily's, I got to get to this book. Anyway, should go ahead and get this out real quick. Understand now that people are starting to find out that they're not just a physical body that's born and died, and they have to act properly, or this beautiful, all-loving, all-forgiving God is going to put them in hell and torture them forever. Imagine that you really are more than what this body is. And those of you that are awakening, and many others that have it in your heart, you know there's more to you than that physical body you see. You know that when your body dies, there was something else different inside there, but you don't know exactly what it is. Through all the free videos and everything else, and in the books, I give you that information. So you have it. But now I want you to just relax. Dr. Brian L. Weiss, W-E-I-S-S. He was a psychiatrist that never believed in anything metaphysical. He was a psychiatrist. He's a really cool guy. I know him, who he is, inside, of course. But as a person, he's a good person too. He started finding out that there's more to our physical bodies and our minds than anybody can really figure out, but there's something going on with past lives. One of the books he wrote was Many Lives, Many Masters. I can't stand that word, master. It's a violation of life. And since my gig is protection, I got some serious issues with this master crap. But anyway, it's a good book, and he talks about a few different things. I think it was in 2005. There was a You Can Do It conference where he was speaking. It was put out by Hay House Publishing. They say all kinds of stuff in there, all different people trying to find stuff. But he talks about something that's important. Realizing that past lives are a reality. Excuse me. I took what he made, the two videos where he's talking. He starts a meditation, it gets broken up. Now this is against the law. I went ahead and took that information, and then I made a video for myself, CD for myself, that is 2 CDs. One of them, it was the classroom, and then the meditation, it was the whole meditation. That way I could hear the whole thing. This is when I was starting to wake up, folks. This is a long time ago. So anyway, I went ahead and listened to it, and that's really helped me take off. His name's, again, Dr. Brian L. Weiss, W-E-I-S-S. He never believed in any of this stuff, and he had this, he was well known on helping people get rid of afflictions that had no reasoning. And there's a woman, I believe from China, that came to him with an interpreter. And she didn't speak a word of English, hence the interpreter. And they had a consult together. And through the interpreter, Dr. Weiss, Brian, was saying, relax. Remember when you first felt it, and she went back into her childhood. Dr. Weiss was good about this. And he said, okay, he said, now, I want you to go back to when you act, just relax. And when you get to a certain point, when you're trying to go in past lives, and people call it meditation, the only real meditation there is, as far as I'm concerned, is breathing, relaxing, and letting go. Taking your energy and soften it out. If you go to the video I put out about bonding with the source field, you'll understand. Okay, so he told her, just take a few more breaths, relax a little more. She went down, what they call going down under deeper, whatever. It's just relaxing more. It's allowing more of yourself to calm down and flow into the field. A lot of people say you need to relax in order to wake up stronger. Well, that's important. They don't understand that. This is why. I told you I have so much information for you, little tidbits here and there. Okay? I'm doing everything I can. I'll get you that Ferrari. You just got to put the key in the ignition. Anyway, so he said, go back when it happened, to when your arm was hurt, because she had a problem with her arm. She couldn't use it. And then she was quiet just for a second, and then all of a sudden she started talking to him in English. And Dr. Weiss was like, what? And then the interpreter started saying what she said, but in Chinese. And then he's like, Dr. Weiss says, hey, I got this. It's English. And then, he's a very intelligent man. And he's got a wonderful heart. He's an awesome individual, a spirit and in a body. And because sometimes we have lives where we're really abused and we're not ourselves. That's what it is most of the time. So, anyway, so he started going into this. He eventually turned down a hell of a good job, big job, as the head of I believe the head of the psychiatry department at a major university, maybe Columbia, I can't remember. And to pursue truth, and doing so, to get demanding of himself to get a full understanding of what it is he was pursuing, and not saying anything he didn't really feel comfortable about. That's wonderful. That's honor. I'm telling you, this guy's cool. And so he started finding out about this stuff. Now, I wanted to get at the reason for this video, and now we're finally here. I told you this new body's coming. That freaks people out. There's new first beings coming out of the first dimension, and they don't have to split into male and female. So these new beings coming out, They're going to be male and female, just like angels are. So if they're in physical bodies, what, does everyone become homosexual? Does heterosexuality fade away? No, folks, it's not going to work like that. This physical creation, number one, is wrong. To maintain physical bodies, you have to consume physical mass, which means you're going to kill something. My last life, I was a fruitarian, as Gandhi. I got to the point where I don't eat fruit. It does take away from your physical body. There's certain proteins these bodies are made to need. The DNA of people's bodies is already changing. It's already changing to start breaking you away from meat. And the animals are going to be taken away from you. It's already being done, but wait and see what happens when I get out of here. They don't all die out overnight. They can't. This has to happen a little slower than you think, but you will see an immediate decrease in animal bodies. And this is not being abusive towards anyone. This is the opposite. It never should have been like this. And Lily, the primary focal point of Lily, my other half, my better half, that's inside me and running around, she's huge. She's had over 8 trillion, a lot over 8 trillion lives. Under 9, but in the upper 8s. We remember that first life. We remember the ones after it. Not every single one. Human brain can't function like that. So they're going to go, but the desire, the need for that kind of protein is going to be taken out of the physical body too. So while all that's going on, there's a new thing coming. I told you there's 1,672 new universes. Well, there are. There was over 3.1 thousand, and then a lot of them were compressed. There wasn't going to be a need for it. That's actually not in the book. Well, it might be in one of the books, might be in book 2, I don't know. Excuse me. But we're going to energy bodies, like the Fey bodies. When you have a life in a Fey body, you can easily live for a month on the energy that you get out of one fallen apple and a thimble of honey. And I mean, actually, a fallen apple is enough for most anybody. My energy is large, strong, and I need a little more food to eat when I'm, in an energy body. So anyway, these Fey bodies, you can float around, make a solid body, and then you release it. When you do this, it's not a normal body with blood flowing through the veins and everything else, okay? Angels, when they make a body, it's not like that. Now, you think I might have dropped something off? I'm getting there. It's a different kind of body. It's a solid mass. No circulatory system. You're aware of things and feeling things, but not as much as you normally do. When you're spirit, you can feel everything so clearly, so precisely, so nicely, but you're not anchored into a body that can't handle it. So you can feel more. I relax, open up as a field, and I feel what's around me, all the horror and everything else. My eyes start tearing up. I feel the love that I get hanging around that there is, and other folks, again, it'll start tearing up. The bodies cannot handle that. But when you don't have a body that spreads out through your huge, incredibly extensive energy field that is you, through you, your true self, and your natural state as spirit, sentient energy. Also, when you take a tuning fork, you smack a tuning fork, and then you listen to it, it's beautiful. Smack it again, stick it in molasses or tar, then put up to your ear. Okay? That's what it's like when you're in a body. Now, so a lot of people are worried, oh, Jay, that scares me because I won't be able to touch my family and feel them. Hey, folks, when you have a life in one of these bodies, you go to one of the new universes, and guess what's in that universe? People in bodies like yours. They're energy bodies. You feel more. You feel it immediately. It's a more beautiful, soft, perfectly clear, higher vibration, everything. And not just that. These new bodies, spirit bodies, it's not it's an energy. It's a field of energy you can have life in that's a little denser. So it puts a little pressure on you to grow, but it's not like this stuff. You won't grow as fast, but you will grow cleaner, with almost no duress whatsoever. And when you've really had enough, you can leave the body and go home. Anytime you want, you're always aware that you're in this experience, and you don't feel shut out, worried about death, everything else. No, you're you. You remember what it's like to be spirit, sentient energy, not inside a body. You remember that you're there to learn and progress and help evolve. So's everyone else. Do you realize how much stress it takes out of your life? Can you begin to understand what it's going to be like not to have pain, disease, not to have to eat, sleep? You're so close to you are your true self with inside an energy field that's a little bit of a damning field. It's like you walking around wearing clothing that has some weight on it and it holds you down a little bit. That's basically what it's like, but it's softer than that. It's not a lot of weight. When you can live like that, to have a life, that's literally like going to school. You know you're there to learn. You can leave if you want. You know who you are, and that you have a house somewhere else, or your parents' house growing up. I know some older people that are still living at home. Fine. Whatever. It's all good. People, that's what's coming. That's what is going to happen. Period. Why? Because that's what needs to happen. Don't look to anything to be perfect, because there's no such thing. But imagine if right now you in a body that didn't have pain, you're floating around, you can literally go across the universe anytime you want. There'll be something made to pull you, like there'll be the field. You're supposed to be around a certain planet or maybe a certain solar system. And if you want to go out too far, good, but after a while it's going to pull you back to where you're supposed to be to have a life. But it's going to be more like solar system instead of a planet, but they'll be home planets. Breathing in atmosphere is no problem. Want to float through a door, float through a rock, float through a lake. You do. You don't get wet. That's a big part of what's coming. I'm explaining that and a lot more in these books. I've devoted each and every one of my lives to doing everything I can to help everything. And I've almost always been in a body. I'm in a body and then I come out and go back in almost right away. When I was in the body of Gandhi and it died 8 years later, I was in this body. 7/27/1955. It's when this body was born. Born in a hospital, left in a government experiment for a short time. So, 10 months old, I was gone. They had me, they started poking me, they started trying to mess around with me, and what was going to happen was already known. And the female person from another planet that was here working with our government, she knew what I was. She has the equipment to know. She knew exactly what I was. And they were going to go at me with something serious, and all of a sudden everything started flying around the room, destroying, just hitting the wall, just tearing everything apart. And she told them, they freaked out, and she told them I was some kind of something else, and it'd be best to get rid of me, and, you know, that's it. So they did. She was nice, you know. She had hope something good would come of it. There's folks that have been here from other planets that have been here working with governments and stuff, trying to help. When something can control your mind, your very thoughts, excuse me, on the other side, doesn't have a body, never sleeps, you're pretty much at their mercy. And when they have none, you're screwed. Welcome to your existence since the first life. Well, not since first life. Before our first 100 million lives were up, close to the end of it, the original first being male and female were putting us in physical bodies. And that's when we lost our ability to be aware of everything. So, but anyway, I want to get away from that talk, and that's what's coming. But that's something to think about for those of you that have an open mind and you're not stuck in the daily reptilian life of abuse. Can you imagine what that's like? Can you imagine being able to remember so many of your lives, just like you're remembering how to make a cup of coffee, how to make a sandwich? That's what's coming. That's where everyone's going. Why? It's the only healthy way for creation to grow together. All that abuse builds up those abuse frequencies, and they tear you apart. They, you know, make you go at each other, in and out of body. And that's going to stop. It's not healthy for creation. It will not be allowed, period. So let's just say Arae's not having any more lives. Staying out of body, period, forever. There's a learning process involved. Excuse me, one thing I can say about this learning process is the original first being, male and female, always, when they existed, they always ran everyone's life. Always. No one else. Not one thing, not one life was ever run by anyone else. Except for when Lily and I made bodies in the very beginning. We made our own bodies. And we just kind of did basically what we wanted to. They couldn't go inside and run us. But that came to an end. Just imagine all the freedom that you have now. The original first angels being gone, they put their energy through your upper crown, middle crown, lower crown, right into the hypothalamus in that area. And they literally tell you, you have to hit that door with your head. Immediately, you will get up and run and beat your head into that door. And they say, well, twice more, boom, you'll do it. And you know you have to do it. That's what's been done to you. That is gone. Well, that's stopping. Well, it's basically stopped everywhere, but some people are doing it anyway, but they're not being told to do it. They're not being made to do it. Sometimes you get stupid spirit tell you to do something stupid, but even that's being handled. So, I just wanted you to know about these new lives coming. Oh, and getting back to something I was saying, I almost forgot. the thing about everyone becoming homosexual or something, that, folks, it's not going to ever happen. Those new beings are not going to be released from the first dimension until the physical bodies are gone. When you're energy. There's very little issue about where you came from. And when you love someone, you love something, but there's not a physical attachment. No jealousy and stuff like that. You understand. You're going to be where you want to be. And folks, when you're really with your spirit mate, it's such a solid, natural, positive thing. Even though there's love there's a million other reasons why you're going to be with them. But you're with other people too. So all that's gone. It's not an issue. Well, I need to get out of here. I was trying to make a short video, and I know when it comes to that, I'm not too successful. But I am doing always everything I can for everyone. And I gotta get to that third book. Folks, that book is really coming together nice. I'm not a writer. I'm an author because I've published books, but I'm not a writer. I give you good factual information. I flow in and out. Sometimes there's a little extra energy stuck into this. There's one chapter talking about the physical bodies, and the next thing you know, I'm talking about the Sapoians and how they create beings that had different DNA and an attack. Excuse me, an attack on their home planet. Information's in there. I try to put a little something in parentheses in the table of contents so that you know that in this chapter, even though it doesn't seem to flow with that thought process, something else is added in there. And I do talk about the Drak, the Neantids, and others. So, of course, I do that in book 2 also. But this is about how creation is changing into what it should have been originally. And then from there, like everything else, we find ways to improve what we have. You made a mistake. No, I found an improvement. If anyone is going to give someone a hard time for finding a better way from realizing there's a better way to do something, then that person definitely doesn't want you to go anywhere. Doesn't want anyone to go anywhere. He wants to sit in a pile of mud and say, we all suck, but I know about it, so I'm better than you. It's like, what? Just be you, folks. But this is the lives you have coming. You feel everything better. You remember everything. You, remember almost everything. Basically, almost no eating. Or it's incredible. And you still have physical planets and stuff, and a lot of these universes, most of them, more than half of them, that's kind of floating around. There's stuff going on I have no desire to talk about, and I want to get off this video. My head's starting to hurt. Lily's working on it, and I got to get downstairs to the book. It's going on 5 o'clock here. I don't have much time. I have to hurry up. But when that popped into my head, and Lily, I understood from Lily. She doesn't talk. It's different. But I understood from her. It's something good to share with you all. It's important for us to know something about our history. And the more you realize who you are, sentient energy, that's been the spirit called spirit, that's been around almost forever. Your true history, the true history becomes your personal history. You should know about it. You should have that for yourself. Is there any magic coming from having it? No, it's just an understanding for you. That's what this is all about, man. It's about understanding for everyone and everything. To help you find out who you are, help us work together. live together. It's not work, it's just living together. Being with those we want to be with, ignoring those we don't want to, whatever, it's fine. But abusing anyone else, not going to be tolerated anymore. Arrogance, you want to be arrogant, you're going to have your own little place, your own little dimension to be in. And I'm talking about as spirit, sentient energy, not what it's like being in a body. Once you get rid of the physical bodies, then 78% of all the abuse is gone. Actually, in most cases, it's more like 90-something, but bare minimum of 78. If I say 78 and it's more of that is gone, then I didn't lie to you. But the future's kind of a funky thing. So, folks, love you. Take care. Have some fun. Don't fret about the new bodies. If you relax and just think about what I told you, it's going to be awesome. You'll always be aware of who you are, of what you're doing, what you've done in the past, and you can leave. There's a door for you to go home. But because you're not freaking out, because you know who you are, where you are, and what you're doing there, there's less of a reason to want to go home. Because you're just next door. There's a lot of other stuff I can tell you about. Anyway, well, I'll put a lot of that in the book, and as I write the book, the more I flow into what's going on out there, and Lily helps me seeing other things, but I don't know how to say this, and I shouldn't, but there's only so much you can talk about at this stage. When I first got into math, when someone started talking to me about calculus and trigonometric functions, etc., I was at a loss. And then once I got to that point, it was food to eat and consume. But until then, it didn't do me any good to hear it, and everything I'm telling you, it's never been heard anywhere. Never. No one. And that's enough. And the more you wake up, the more you're going to know for yourself. This body's dying, I'm not going anywhere. And no one can push me out of the way. It's my job not to. I'm the janitor. I'm proud to be that. Folks, love you, man. Take care and have a good one.